Australia, a place famous for its venomous snakes, deadly spiders, and killer crocodiles. You probably already know it's dangerous, right? But what if I told you Australia today is nothing compared to its past? Back then, it wasn't just dangerous. It was a death trap, a land ruled by monsters so terrifying, even dinosaurs would have second thoughts. Imagine stepping into a forest where giant lizards stalk you, land crocodiles chase you, and snakes not only squeeze you, but tear you apart. Quick flashes of megalania hunting. And the worst part? These creatures weren't walking around millions of years ago. They were here just tens of thousands of years back, exactly when the first humans arrived. They weren't just explorers, they were survivors. Just as everything is famously larger in Texas, things tend to be far deadlier in Australia. Mainly due to its wildlife, as this land harbors an unusually high number of dangerous animals, having more venomous species than nearly every other country on Earth. However, when it comes to creatures that are actually lethal to humans, Australia easily takes the crown. This is the land where the majority of the world's deadliest snakes slither, including all the top-ranked ones. It's also the native home of the cassowary, one of the few birds on the planet capable of killing a person. And of course, you have the usual suspects like the saltwater crocodile, great white shark, venomous spiders, and dangerous jellyfish. But if that's not enough to prove Australia's reputation, consider this. Some of the largest insects on Earth live here. It's one of the rare places where pine cones can be deadly, and it has seen the three largest wildfires of this century. The list could continue endlessly, but you probably get the idea. So it might surprise you to hear that modern-day Australia is actually far safer than it used to be. And I'm not just referring to the time of dinosaurs, but to a period ruled by monstrous land lizards and terrestrial crocodiles. And surprisingly, you don't even have to go back millions of years, just tens of thousands. Around the same time humans first arrived, Australia was at its wildest. Back then, reptiles, not mammals, reigned supreme. It wouldn't have taken long for the first humans to realize that something was terribly wrong as they stepped onto the land, encountering creatures straight out of a nightmare. Like a crocodile that didn't just live near rivers, but actively hunted on land. This predator was called quinkana, one of the dominant hunters of Pleistocene Australia. It resembled today's crocodiles but had unique features, including a peculiar skull structure that placed it into an extinct group called Mekosuchini, rather than modern crocs. But it wasn't just the head. It had long legs, raising its body off the ground and allowing it to move swiftly, making it a truly terrestrial predator. Its hoof-like toes and flattened tail further proved it wasn't built for swimming, but for stalking prey on land. And it wasn't small either. Many adults rivaled the size of a modern American alligator. Unfortunately, some were even larger, with certain individuals reaching twice that size, easily overpowering mammals and sometimes even early humans. A quinkana attack was the stuff of nightmares. Its teeth were built like blades, flattened, serrated, and sharp enough to slice through flesh like butter. These teeth, known as ziphidont teeth, are similar to those seen in some carnivorous dinosaurs, making it a serious threat to anything crossing its path. To make matters worse, you couldn't even necessarily escape it by diving into water, as evidence suggests it was still a competent swimmer, despite being a land specialist. As terrifying as that sounds, quinkana wasn't even the worst thing around. Sharing the same environment was megalania, the largest land lizard to ever exist. You've probably heard the name, but today it's officially called Varanus priscus, meaning it was actually a giant monitor lizard. Despite the new name, many still prefer calling it megalania, which fittingly means great roamer. As for its size, well, paleontologists may not agree on the exact numbers, but all estimates place it as enormous, easily the length of a sea lion and as heavy as a reindeer, if not bigger. Some of the largest individuals might have matched the length of a record-breaking anaconda, but were much bulkier, potentially weighing several tons. And like modern monitor lizards, megalania was no harmless giant. It had sharp, recurved teeth, powerful limbs, and claws capable of bringing down large prey. But that's not all. There's good reason to think megalania was venomous too. Modern monitors produce venom that stops blood from clotting, causing shock and infections. And considering Megalania's close relation to the Komodo dragon, it may have shared the same gruesome tactic of biting and waiting for the prey to weaken before finishing the job. So even if you managed to escape a Megalania attack, you probably wouldn't get far. As if that wasn't bad enough, there was also Wunambi, a massive snake living alongside both Megalania and Quincana. While not the longest snake ever, it rivaled modern giants like the Burmese python. Belonging to a now extinct snake family called Matsoidae, Wunambi lacked venom, but it made up for it with brute strength. Wunambi likely behaved like modern constrictors, ambushing animals near water, coiling around them, and squeezing until blood could no longer reach their vital organs. Yet what made Wunambi worse was its stiff jaws and relatively small head, meaning it couldn't swallow prey whole like modern snakes. Instead, Wunambi would rip its prey apart with sharp teeth, disemboweling them piece by piece. A gruesome way to go. And some believe this snake may have been an even more common threat to early Australians than the other predators, considering that even today, snake-related fatalities are common among indigenous populations. But reptiles weren't the only danger. Australia's mammals were equally horrifying. Meet Thylacoleo, the largest mammalian predator to ever roam Australia. Roughly the size of a wild boar, with the largest individuals rivaling female lions and tigers. Thylacoleo wasn't a feline, but a marsupial related to today's koalas. Yet unlike its herbivorous cousins, Thylacoleo was built for the kill. It possessed one of the strongest bites of any mammal, pound for pound. Its skull was packed with massive muscles, and its teeth were equally strange. Huge incisors that acted like canines, and bladed premolars designed to slice through arteries, windpipes, and even spinal cords in seconds. This meant it could drop prey within a minute, whereas a lion might take several minutes to finish the job. And if its jaws somehow failed, it had hooked, retractable claws on semi-opposable thumbs, allowing it to strike fatal blows or even drag prey up trees like modern leopards. Thylacoleo could also navigate caves and rough terrain, making it a highly versatile and deadly predator. With such terrifying reptiles and mammals roaming the land, early humans entering Australia faced challenges unlike anywhere else. And even among the herbivores, peace was hard to find. With such terrifying reptiles and mammals roaming the land, early humans entering Australia faced challenges unlike anywhere else. And even among the herbivores, peace was hard to find. But just wait, because some say in the darkest corners of Australia, the descendants of these monsters might still be lurking. Could it be true? That's a story for another time. Been with you, Ancient Zone subscribe.